Hey guys, we are back with another NXT recap after Great American Bash. There was a lot of stuff happening. We had somebody come back to NXT. But before we get into all of that, we will be right back, guys.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope your week has been going well. We are back with another NXT recap show. I am Katrina, host and creator of In Cat We Trust, but also one of the hosts and writers of Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. And it's also our CEO's birthday. So if you haven't yet, please make your way over to TK Trinidad and to her happy birthday because she's the boss lady. And without her, we will have none of this. So tell her happy birthday if you have not done so. Again, I am Katrina and I'm here with my twin. We are everybody's favorite duo. Shayna, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I can't wait to get into this. It was a lot that went on at Great American Bash, so stuff needs to be spoken about. How are you, though?
I am well. Kind of a weird day, a lot of stuff happening, but I am glad to be here. Glad we got to see each other yesterday and bond and all that stuff. And so let's jump right into it. And so this is the episode right after Great American Bash, which was a fantastic PLE, may I add. There was two things that I was like, okay, but this was a fantastic PLE, and so we're kind of breaking it right into what happened after that. So the first matchup was some women's action between Jacy Jayne and Lyra Valkyria, and so this was pretty solid, for the most part. First, I guess before I get into that, the show did open up with Gallus attacking the family in the parking lot because everything always happened in the parking lot. And then in the training room, Tony D'Angelo kind of warned Gallus that they were dead men walking. And so leading up to this match, Jacy said that she was going to kind of end the fight on commentary before Lyra even came. And then she attacked her at ringside, which kind of ruined her entrance. And so this, I thought, there were some decent moments. I do think that Jacy tried to make a statement against Lyra. But I think in this regard, as much as Jacy really tried, and she tried, Lyra was just the better one in this. And I wish they would have gave us this in the first place instead of putting that belt on Tiffany. But that is a rant for another day. That is a rant for a different day. I really, truly wish, though, that we would have gotten, her, because this is the Lyra we saw in the beginning. Her, lose. I'm like, stop. I'm supposed to believe when she's clearly somebody who's actually physically, she can wrestle. And so, Jacy tried really, really hard. There was even a moment where Lyra was talking a bunch of stuff, and she was hitting Jacy with a bunch of snap kicks, and then she did a spine wrestle, which I thought was a really, really great moment for me, personally. But even with all that to be said, and I do think this was Jacy's best performance. And I can even see, and maybe this is just maybe I'm overlooking it, I do think Lyra at one point was slowing herself down. To kind of keep up with for Jacy to keep up with her, which is unfortunate because she was to get Rhea Ripley, and you saw how that much. But so it was okay, I feel like, again, I don't know what they're doing with Jacy. Hopefully it's something that I do think there's something missing. With that being said, Lyra she wound up ducking a bit boot from Jacy and hit a roundhouse kick into a diving splash, and she will win this matchup against Jacy. And so, yes, that was the first matchup for NXT this week. And like I said, it was solid. I do have my feelings about Jacy, but I think this is more of, I don't think they know what to do with her. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, I kind of see what you mean, whereas Lyra had to kind of pull it back a bit. which is like, no, it's not a bad thing or a shade to JC. It's just like Lyra has been doing this a lot longer. It's just, sometimes that's just how it is. But you know, JC definitely kept up, as you know, from what she has learned so far, she has kept up like a lot. So whatever, you know, okay. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed I enjoyed the match regardless. And obviously the right person won. I think that, you know, obviously, you know, this is what's best, and I feel like they have something in store for Lyra. What? I'm not sure, but I'm all on board for it. And you know, shout out to you, Lyra. Also, Gallus, I'm not even mad because Tony and Stacks stay doing that. So you know what? Get your get back with the whole jumping from behind the parking lot, because they love to do that.
Yeah, everything always goes down in the parking lot. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel like both her and Gigi just wasn't hitting after the breakup with Toxic Attraction. And this is really unfortunate because then now I mean I have to praise Mandy Rose, which I really didn't want to do. But I had to praise Mandy Rose because clearly you was keeping them in shape or together. They looked more like, hey, like a unit. I'm like, now I'm like, what is happening? I said, Gigi, I don't know. She did all that, and I still don't really know where she at. And then JC, who I think we all personally agree, and this is no shade to her, but you know, of the three members, she was probably the lower tier of the Toxic Attraction, and you can see it, and it's unfortunate because it's like, is that why they threw them together? Was because, well, you got Mandy, who's really pretty, and you know, that's what, before she got better skill wise, you know, she was kind of just there, you know. And so I don't know, I just feel like ever since the Toxic Attraction, they just both not been on the place they should have been. But you know, and that's unfortunate because now I have to praise Mandy Rose, and I don't even want to do that. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't like when I have to praise people I don't really want to praise. But hopefully whatever it is that she needs, and I don't even think it's like the her being a little quicker. I think it's also something about her gimmick is missing for me. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. Like, am I supposed to be pissed off at you? Am I supposed to be annoyed? Like, what's happening? And I don't know what to get from JC Jane. And so that's unfortunate. But hopefully, you know, we can get something going for her. And you said, I just feel like everything else go down in the parking lot. I was like, y'all haven't learned nothing about the parking lot. Y'all gotta be prepared. You gotta be ready. Why are nobody holding tasers? Like, I'm like, there's no way we jump me in the parking lot all the time. Not me. But, you know, whatever. You know, I guess we get that. And so, next up, we had a little appearance from Miss Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio, kind of celebrating, you know, Dom retaining his NXT North American Championship. And so he pretty much, like, you know, Rey Mysterio did say he would be in attendance next week for a matchup after Dragon Lee arrived to challenge Dom for his title. And so I'm like, all right, Rey Mysterio, I totally get you wanted to, like, do all this. I'm like, I mean, I guess. Rey Mysterio did call Dragon Lee the future of Lucha Libre, which I think is a super awesome endorsement from somebody like Rey Mysterio. Even though, you know, people may not like Rey Mysterio, if you think of lucha type wrestling, more mainstream lucha, Rey Mysterio is one of the top people. Yeah, I can feel what you feel about it, but Rey Mysterio is a known person. And so for him to say that he thinks he's the future is a really good endorsement from him. But now I'm kind of seeing how this goes. Rey Mysterio going to interfere? Are we going to get some stuff with Rey Mysterio? Is it going to be because, you know, Dominik keep calling Rey Mysterio a deadbeat? And I'm like, my guy, what was you doing all these years? What was he doing? If he was a deadbeat, he was around, right? Because I tell you what deadbeat is. It ain't that. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll see what happens with that. But what were your thoughts on this segment?
Can I just say the outfit, Rhea? Yes.
Every time.
Yes, that's it. I think this is really cool for Dragon Lee. I think, you know, he's definitely going to give Dominik an awesome match, like a really, really good match. And I just think it's cool. I also love when Dragon came in the ring, and I forgot, Rhea said something, and he just goes, I don't like you. And then he just continued on with whatever he was saying prior. Dragon Lee has so much personality. It just cracks me up. Like, he always has me cracking up. Like, honestly, he's been such a great addition to NXT from like start to like, you know, going. I can't say finish because he ain't finished yet, but you know what I mean. Yeah, this will be cool. And having, you know, Rey Mysterio. You know what, Rey Mysterio? You know what? I get it. Because Dominik, he really played with you. He really played with you for a good little while. So you know what? Get as many lickbacks as you feel like you need to until you feel like you got him fully back. By all means.
Yeah, I agree there. We shall see. Hey. We appreciate. I feel like I'm not gonna do too much writing today. Today was this episode was too crazy for me to get really upset. But thank you for always when you can popping on, Wilson. We definitely appreciate you. Which now leads us to a couple of segments. And so there was a segment with Trick Williams and locker room Carmelo saying that he needs to kind of do things on his own way. And so he said he was going to challenge Alan Dragunov without any help. And then there was also a segment, and I guess they mentioned this, but I'm mentioning it now because it has to do with Dominik. He was trying to leave in a kiss because everything always happens in the parking lot. Axiom and Mustafa Ali apparently came to some kind of blows because they were both trying to get to Dominik Mysterio. And so, yeah, what were your thoughts on that segment?
They're going to stop playing with Axiom. I feel like Axiom's going to get to a point where he just explodes because I feel like he's been being disrespected by so many people. Like, it's enough. It's enough. Because Axiom is really that dude, and you're not going to keep playing with him. Mustafa, let it go. Oh, I didn't get pinned. Nobody cares. You still lost. You should have been quicker.
Which leads us into our next match with Eddie versus Dijak. And so this I was a little sad about, because Eddie is, my guy. And I didn't particularly appreciate, the shenanigans that was happening. And so Dijak kind of early on injured Eddie's left arm. And so it made it hard for Eddie, it seemed, to take advantage of any offense during any of this. This was a bit of a short match, honestly. And I don't know, because I feel like there was these are two sides to this. So there went Dijak did go for Feast Your Eyes in this, and Eddie wound up reversing it into a German suplex and then a running elbow drop. Unfortunately, Eddie Thrope will lose after Dijak does discus boot to his shoulder, and he wound up winning by pinfall. Something I did notice is that both Dijak and JC kind of have the same finishing move. Something very similar. And so I don't know if they're gonna address that, because to have it that back to back like that, I was like, oh, I noticed. And so I guess we'll see what happens if they're gonna change one of them. Something's telling me they're gonna change JC's, honestly. So while I understand, I guess, Dijak needing to win because he's been kind of on a weird space, it kind of also takes away the momentum from Eddie because he did win the NXT Underground thing. And so to kind of have that happen and he lost, it's just like, oh, okay. And that makes me sad. But I also get that Dijak probably really needed this win because he's really not been on a good run in NXT. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Nasty work. Nasty. The nastiest type of work, actually. I totally get, Dijak has definitely, taken some losses. But why did Eddie have to be the person for him to beat to get back on the good foot? Eddie has been having a really great run. And also, if he was going to have a loss, it should have been more meaningful. Like, if it's, this is not his first loss. I don't feel like this is his first loss, but I feel like he's been on a train. And then, the NXT Underground, we call it NXT Underground. That was a great win, and I just feel like, why are we doing this? But I guess I'm assuming this is not over. I feel like Eddie will get his back, but I really would have rather not it happen like this. Like Dijak could be anyone. There are so many people in the back. He could be so many.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, ugh. It's like it's and unfortunate because you don't want Eddie to lose because I think he needed momentum and it kind of throws that off. But then also Dijak literally needed a win, so it's like they couldn't throw somebody else in there to take this. I don't know, but I guess. And so there was another segment after that with Kalani Jordan and Dana Brooke kind of reminiscing on the kendo stick match, and Dana Brooke told Kalani that she needs to find her killer instinct. And so what were your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Something about how Dana was talking was giving me like she's on the brink of something shifting with her. Like the way she was like, I really loved it. I liked it. And it was so like, I'm like, you sound like you're on the change. Like something's gonna adjust with you. Like maybe I can see a heel turn. Like a lot of people have been saying that they felt like that was something that will be in the future for Dana. And that kind of made me start to really agree. Like just how we should saying you gotta find some aggression. Like we'll see, if Kalani is able to find that, but I also feel like this might mean something. And do we want to even talk about the Cora Jade thing as well, like while we're here? Because that was a little bit confusing to me. So she's just done. Where is that? Like, where does that go? Like, I'm wondering what is the end game with that whole segment.
Yeah, I don't even know. I that's the thing. I felt like also with like once they got Cora out of the thing with Roxanne, she's just been there kind of floating around as far as what they're doing storyline wise. I really don't know what they're trying to do with her. And this is unfortunate, Shawn Michaels, because it's like you have some people like you can tell there's sometimes that's done really well and you can tell, and then other times you're like, well, what the hell, what's going on with the division here with like storylines? What's going on? I do not know what Cora is doing. Okay, use kendo stick. Okay. So does Steve Blackman. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Like, I mean, and he did it well, may I add. So he used the kendo stick, and so you use the kendo stick. I'm like, that's nice, but what's coming out of you doing all of this? And I don't know what that is. And so that's also, it's just like, hopefully, like I said, if they need some writers, hello, I'm available. I do write, like, what do you guys need? Because, like, can we get this? Oh, you giving it high praise. I wouldn't call it up the summer, but do you, Wilson? Do you? I mean, I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know. I just feel like it's just going on with so many women on the roster. It's not going well. Which, speaking of women, leads us to our next match, which is a tag team match between Elektra Lopez, Lola Vice versus Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz. And so I thought. I do write fiction and as well as read articles, and so I definitely could if they need a sister. But whatever. I'm Sean. Hello, like send me a DM, okay? But this leads us to some tag team action with these ladies who I think actually did their thing in this matchup. I thought this was really well done. I actually do like that Valentina and Yulisa really doing what they should be doing, and so. Apparently, there was a TikTok that they showed that Elektra and Lola mocked, Yulisa and Valentina during a win on Sunday. And so I'm guessing this will lead up to this matchup. And so it was, I feel like this is a little weird because I feel like this could have also been a little bit, it could have been a little bit longer, I guess. So we've been knowing that, Lola Vice was supposed to be making her debut. And it seemed like right away, apparently, Elektra Lopez and Valentina kind of took each other out of the equation pretty quickly, actually. And I feel like after doing all of this and they had it pretty much, the point is they pretty much ended it with Lola doing a super kick to Yulisa and winning this match. And I was a little bit surprised about that because I feel like all the stuff they were doing, especially in particular of how their performance was at Great American Bash, they really, did their things. And to have them now lose to somebody who clearly still needs a little bit more work, I was kind of annoyed by it. And while I'm not even fond of super kicks, I feel like that has to be done in a way that I won't get annoyed by it. Like Shawn Michaels super kick always made me. I'm like, okay, tune up the band, my guy, do what you need to do. But in this regard, I'm like, what was the purpose of that? It made it like, that after all this building them up, you kind of have them lose, and it makes them once again look like they can't really do much unless Dragon Lee and Nathan's in their corner. And that's unfortunate for them because they're better than that. And they proved that at Great American Bash. So that kind of annoyed me. And it kind of feels like, at least I could be wrong, that they're making it where they might be falling into the same role that they gave Kaden and Katana when they were down there. And then it's also just, again, it's a weird thing to have this when you have Elektra Lopez got beat by Thea Hail, and then all of a sudden the team that actually works really well together, all of a sudden it's just like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna like beat them. And I don't really know how I felt about that. I was a little annoyed. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just like, I get that having a debut, but everybody don't need to win a debut match for it to be good. I feel like you could have gave her moments and showed that like she's gonna be promising. But to have her lose to beat a team that just did everything they did so well on Sunday, I'm just like, come on, guys. And that was a little annoyed by that. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was kind of like having them lose. I feel like this episode is just people losing who really shouldn't be losing. Like, it's just like, yeah, I couldn't find nobody else to be squashed. Nobody. Yeah. Like, what are we doing right now? I feel like, Yulisa and Valentina put on such a great performance, obviously for Great American Bash, and definitely deserved more than this. I really do like the pairing of Elektra and Lola, though, but I do see that Lola does still need some time to work. But she, in terms of like the character and the look, she has that. And the entrance music, I'm sorry, when it came on, I was like, I'll do one of these, the shimmy shoulders. But I really, really like the entrance music. I just wish that it wasn't Yulisa and Valentina that had to take that fall. But I'm all for that. Actually, this is how I feel about Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez together. How dare you? How dare you?
I love that idea.
Thank you. I'm done.
That's great. I didn't know what it was for, to be honest. I didn't know what he was going to say, but that works. But yeah, that's that. I just, we'll see. And so after that, we did have two more segments. One being with Tiffany in a TikTok saying she'll be back in NXT next week, like we cared. And then another NXT segment showing a video highlighting Roxanne's journey through her home state of Texas. So what were your thoughts on that?
Tiffany cracks me up with the little TikTok video. Like, I can't help but just crack up. Just like, she's like, anyways, you all suck, and I'll be back. Toodles! Like, it just cracks me up. Like, it's so like ridiculous that it's just like I can't help but laugh. I guess maybe she's just taking a break. I know a lot of people were saying she took a bit of a hard fall with one. I think it was like some type of move. She got flipped over during Great American Bash, and she landed straight on her neck and her head. So maybe she was just taking a beat for this week before they move into whatever's going to be her next, program. And Roxanne, I mean, I don't know where this is leading. Like, I love Roxanne, but like, okay, what does this mean? I'm wondering, what does this mean? Like, we just doing it to do it? Like,
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I'm not really sure why. I love Roxanne as well, but I wasn't sure, like, is she gonna do something good after this? Like, and she will. I'm gonna be very honest. I know people like Cora Jade. If they send her like this when she still needs work, she's gonna fail. And she is. And you have to remember how mean like the NXT audience are annoying. The main roster audience is even worse. I feel like that would not be good for her. That's their name. If so, that's very odd. And I only say this because the Miami Sweet Heat I know is a team from WoW. And they're like twin sisters from Miami. And so if so, I hope to God it's not. That might not be good. I hope that's not their name together. I'm hoping. Just because that's literally that the name or name of I hope they don't call. I hope they get that together because that's definitely a name of Lindsay and Leslie from WoW superheroes. Like that's literally Miami Sweet Heat is their tag name. So wait, what? That threw me off. But hopefully it was just them maybe because they both Miami, so maybe that's what it is. I'm hoping. I hope it's not their tag name. That would probably be a problem on WWE's part. With that being said, I don't know. I guess we'll see. And Roxanne, I mean, I don't think she should have lost title in the first place. They did all this extra hoomaloff to get freaking Tiffany the belt, and she's been agitating my soul. Agitating my soul for no reason. I don't care about her coming back to NXT or her making a break. All right, we all need breaks, sis. We got it. I guess. We all need a break. I guess. And so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But before we move further on in the show, let's hear some words from the birthday lady, our lovely CEO, TK Trinidad.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw post-show, WoW post-show, AEW Dynamite post-show, Women's Wrestling Army post-show, NXT post-show, Impact Wrestling post-show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live post-show, On the Scroll, ROH post-show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
As TK said, we have a lot of shows and we love you guys. Appreciate you guys always for watching and hanging out with us. And as Jeffrey has also said, TK, happy birthday, do your thing. And for the comment you said before that, I said what I said. Okay, she told me she need a break. Like, I get stressed every day and sometimes I need a break. Sometimes I need a minute to decompress. I don't go to TikTok, tell people, guys, you know what, guys, I need a break. You see me in a week, I need to do all that. Okay, you just see me when you see me. I got to do all that extra stuff. Like, nobody cares, Tiffany. But here we are, just wasting, whatever we're doing. And so now this leads us to some action between our guys, Wes Lee and Carmelo Hayes versus the Meta Four. And so this is kind of weird. Because I feel like I will never put respect on Tiffany ever. If it's not Tiffany from Tiffany's, the jewelry store in New York City, Katrina will never. Okay, and you gotta understand that. Okay, or Tiffany New York from the Flavor of Love, because that was my girl. She was always real with it, like classic reality TV drama was Tiffany New York. Her name is Tiffany, so I'll give her some respect. But if ain't any of that, I will not. And so I'm not really, I guess, I'm not really sure. It's weird because both Carmelo and Wes can really, wrestle, but they could not get it together for some reason. And it was a good offense, but I felt like there wasn't enough offense to kind of get them really going the way they could have gone. And that's unfortunate because I'm like, God damn, both of them can wrestle, Metaphor did come out with their whole like stable interest, which is super like dramatic. And I was like, all right, guys, do what you need to do. Wes Lee did start up the match early, diving into Oro Mensah during their entrance, which again I liked it. Wes also seemed like he was working really angry throughout the match, and I understand, I guess, with everything that happened with Dom, it makes sense for him to be kind of angry, but he definitely was showing in the match, and he seemed upset anytime, Melo was doing something. He seemed a little bit annoyed by that, and I guess whatever. Okay, we're gonna do that, but unfortunately, even with their really, really strong offense, Oro Mensah wind up pulling Carmelo in to kind of do like a cardiac kick. And unfortunately, he also did a super kick to Wes Lee, and then this let Noam Dar do his Nova Rolla to win the match. And then in turn, Carmelo and Wes Lee wound up arguing at the end. And Carmelo tried to brush it off, but Wes Lee seemed extremely, extremely unhappy, even to the point where Carmelo got into Wes Lee's space in the locker room. And it apparently, Noam and Oro kind of made fun of this, which led into this bigger brawl during all of this. So it seemed like it was a lot happening. But I was like, damn, okay, metaphor. It looks good for them, but it also makes us like, okay, why are we doing this? But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
I feel like if they had a little bit more time, they definitely could have really ate it up. But I feel like it was definitely something there. It definitely wasn't a terrible match, I don't feel. Wes, I kind of get the frustration because this is literally the third week in a row that he has lost to some type of shenanigans, like outside. Like, it's not like he could just say, you know what, I wasn't the better man, this night. It's always some type of outside interference. And I can see how that can start to get very frustrating. And you just feel like you're getting cheated. Where does that lead him, though? Like, I don't know. I'm interested to see. Like, I feel like this is just him going through just exhausted, kind of just frustrated period. I don't know if it'll lead to a heel turn. If it does, I'd be very interested. I'd be very interested to see how that would kind of pan out. Just because I'm just so used to cheering for him. I don't know if I want to be like boo, but you know me, I'll probably cheer him anyways. I love a bad guy. And am I wrong, or was the crowd chanting Melo missed? Were they not?
No. They were. I didn't like that.
What did I say about this crowd? I said, you know what? Y'all have your good time because you think, Braun, because Braun is what? I said, watch they do the same thing. They're gonna start turning on Melo. They couldn't even wait a few months. They couldn't even.
Yeah. I do think they might be setting up for Wes Lee versus Carmelo, which would be the next better option because, Allen Dragunov with everything that he's did, and now Trick kind of wanted to go after him. It makes no sense to do Carmelo again. So, I guess we'll see what goes on with that. But that now leads us into another person I really didn't want to see on my TV screen, which wound up being Andre Chase versus Baron Corbin. And like nobody asked for this. And I'm like, you know what, guys? What are we doing here? Like why? And so during this, Thea Hail did look a little bit upset after her loss. And this is Andre's fault. It is. But during this interview, Baron did interrupt Chase U's interview, which Andre wound up getting in his face, which set up for this matchup. And so Duke did try to talk to Thea Hail, in the corner, but the energy just wasn't there for her, and I understand that. You know what I mean? Like it's unfortunate. So Andre was really no match for Baron, which is why I'm not really sure why we had it. And like I know that this is more of Thea's story because she's the one who like lost, that matchup. I don't know why we needed Baron Corbin here for this. And so Baron does his end of days and beat Andre Chase. And then there was a moment that Thea did throw the towel in while Andre was stuck in a single leg Boston Crab, which magically the referee did not see, and she walked out after that. But Baron did win this match. It wasn't a terrible match, but I didn't care about it. And I know people seem to like his theme music. I do not. I'm not going to magically become a Baron Corbin fan because he updated his theme, I guess. Katrina did not ask for updated music, so he has updated music. He came to NXT for what? What have we learned, children? What have we learned from bringing Baron Corbin? Did y'all learn anything? Because I didn't learn anything. I didn't learn nothing at all. Okay, and so here we are with Baron just beating up poor Andre Chase because we knew he was going to win. Like, Andre wasn't beating Baron. I would be surprised. But here we are. What were your thoughts about this unnecessary match?
I was annoyed because, you know what, Thea? I get your frustration, but Andre did it because he thought that you was going to get your back broken. Girl, you want to have a broken back? Because you would have lost the match by ref stoppage regardless. So the winning part was never on the table at that point. It wasn't. So he was like, do you want to have a broken spine or do you want me to throw in this towel? I would say throw in the towel. I have scoliosis. I understand back pain. So I definitely wouldn't wish that on nobody. So I definitely think he would have went with the towel. I personally would have said. I get your frustration, but Andre came from a place of caring. So for you now to be on some weird time with him, like he can't even touch you. She did one of these. Andre better than me because I would say, get out. Go to ICDC college then, since you feel that way.
Not ICDC, oh Jesus, not right? Romeo's college.
Romeo, go ahead, Romeo, and watch Romeo throw the towel in for you too. If you was getting that back cracked, he would throw the towel in too if he gave two. Okay? So, Thea, I just need you to reel it in. I understand your anger. Go fight. You know what? Take the approach of Braun. Just go keep attacking Tiffany, and you will get your title shot again. I promise you will. Just keep meeting her every time she walk in the door. They're going to have to give you a title shot again. You don't need to be rude to Andre because Andre is a good man, and he is trying to look out for you. And you're going to treat him like this? You're going to treat him like this? And she tried to be funny, throwing in the towel. Joke's on you. I wanted to be out of this match. Thank you for throwing in the towel. You thought you got him back? I would want to get out. Thank you. Andre.
See, I get what you mean. I do think Andre's a good guy. He's better than Duke. Okay, everybody is better than Duke. However, I get the wanting to lose on your own because even with I also have scoliosis in fibro, and so I don't like pain, and I might have tapped a lot quicker. We'll be honest. I'm like, first of all, Tiffany, but you're not gonna get me anything anyway. First of all, me and Tiffany would be like, first of all, no, we didn't even get this far with me, Tiffany. But I get that because I think about like Stone Cold, who never tapped. He always was just like, I'll just be here in the ring. Yeah, but then don't do this to me. Like Stone Cold been upset about this. And so, because I was depressed. I did not ask to see Baron Corbin on a Tuesday. And that's that. But, I understand to this thing. I don't think she should have been rude to him, but I understand being like, well, damn, let me, do you feel like I can't do it? And I feel like if you're going to lose and then she lost on her own and she tapped or she passed out, then you have to take that on your own. Maybe she's feeling like, do you not trust that I could have gotten out of that or I would? And so that I understand. I don't think she should have been rude to him, but I do understand the whole like, maybe not throw the towel in because, but we'll see. She should have beaten her. Okay? She should have. Tiffany should not be champion for the 100th time. Somebody decided, oh my God, well, Tiffany's pretty and she got a nice moonsault and now she's champion. Boo. Boo, boo, boo. So, yeah, I do think she shouldn't have been mean to him. But again, nobody asked for this Baron. I was like, Andre just got beat up for no reason because who asked for this? Who asked for this match with Baron? Baron did all of that, as somebody stated. He went to the Woods theme song. All right. You could have went to Spotify if it was that deep. Go to SoundCloud. Get a new song. You don't need to go to Woods for that. You don't need to go to Woods for a new song. Go to Spotify. Go to somebody is willing to give you a song, my guy. Somebody is willing. You don't go to the woods like you about to do something real, and then all you come is a new song, and the song ain't even that good. Okay, like I don't even think the song is good. Like people, oh, that song's amazing. Where? I'm not bumping. There's a couple few wrestling songs I bump. It ain't gonna be his song, not his. Okay, so and I just feel like you are trying really hard to get me just on a really bad spot because so yeah, he did all that, got a new song, beat up Andre Chase for no reason because he lost. Well, he didn't really lose because technically that Great American Bash thing was just shenanigans that we didn't ask for.
He was gonna lose.
And so we got that whole random match with him and people. And then we're like, oh, well, here we are. Here we are. And so I guess they had to give him a win after those shenanigans. Like, oh, you guys got beat up and no match actually happened. Let's give you a win over somebody who you know you can beat. And here's your new theme song. Yay. Celebration. Get real. Nobody asked for that. And so I'm just whatever, you know. Here we are. Here we are. But yeah, which now leads us into a little moment with the schism and who we had already figured out because we did. We was like, oh, we in there. We figured out who these masked guys was, and it is the Creed brothers. And so pretty much the schism was interrogating the masked men, and you know, Joe Gacy told the followers worldwide to find them and bring them to them. And you know, I mean, supposedly it was supposed to be the Creed, like, so it was supposed to be the Creed brothers that was there under the mask, but it wound up being at least under this time it wound up being two like separate guys. And then also who we haven't seen in a little bit, Ikemen Gyro who we haven't seen in a little minute. And I was like, okay, all right, it's been a little minute, and so hopefully he'll do something, you know, do no shenanigans with him. But it was just two guys who kind of looked like them. And so while all of this, the real Creed brothers did come and interrupt this interrogation. And it was just like, clearly they're not following the loser leaves NXT, because I was like, I mean, I guess that's what we're doing. I didn't understand why you did all that big deal to have them, whoever released NXT live. And then they, like, a few weeks later, we're back. And so I don't really understand why they did that. And it wasn't, I don't think it was a good segment. I didn't really understand what was the point of this segment, but here we are. What were your thoughts on this segment?
Yeah, no, it was kind of just like once I saw the stature of most of the people standing there, I was like, well, the Creeds are not standing there. Because, you know, Brutus. Okay, them shoulders. Okay, you gonna know them shoulders. Icky Man, I'm sorry. Like, I loved it. Like, the way I was giggling, like, when he popped up with the freaking, like, I love him, okay? I don't care what bad guy Jack has to say. He is hilarious. He is hilarious. And you can tell him I said that. Yeah, I don't know. When they said worldwide, you know, I would love to see, like, maybe videos pop up of, like, Julius and, like, Brutus, like, running from people in the streets, like, you know, with the mask, like, gives them. I think that'd be cool to see. Just like, oh, they tried to get him. We're in this different town today. They're here. You know, if you're going to do this whole worldwide thing, why not, you know, have fun with it? If we're really going to go all in with this, you know, have a little fun. That's just me. But the whole them flipping through different, like, the pyramid stuff, they could have kept that. You could have kept that. Seriously.
Yeah, gonna have to agree there. I guess. I don't know. And so this now brings us to our final match of the night, which was a 6-man tag with Gallus versus the family and a mystery man who happens to be my guy, Santos Escobar. Now, this is my guy right here. You know, I was always a fan of him. And I was like, okay, all right. And I love the way they worked together. You know, it was nice to see, you know, considering that they also had beef previously on NXT with them and the family. There was definitely the beef between them. So to have Santos who worked with them and worked with them well, may I add, was really cool. I really enjoyed that because I'm like, yes, okay, bring my guy back. Pretty much Tony D'Angelo did said he had a favorite call in, and that he said after that he'll be squared with whoever this person is. And then they showed the white shoes as he entered, which wound up being Santos Escobar. And so again, I thought they worked really, really well together. I thought it was actually a really fun way to end the show with them. They were just having a good time. I thought it was really well. And, you know, they did a bada bing, bada boom, won the match. And I thought it was a nice way to kind of just celebrate the family, but also kind of nice to see Santos back there. And they've been showing a lot of him, you know, during, you know, I think he was in one of the house shows, and what he's been doing for the fetch, I thought was really, and he's been advocating for having some events in Mexico, which I think would be super awesome. And I do think, because we've seen when you have these other events in other places, the crowd love it. And I think that's smart on WWE's behalf. So hopefully we'll get that in Mexico at some point. But I did truly, truly, truly enjoy this matchup. I like this match. It was a nice, fun kind of match. And so they did win. I'm hoping that this will be the end, however, of the whole Gallus and the family thing, because I feel like we're done. We don't need to see it again. We're over it. The crowd did chant "Welcome back to Escobar," which I thought was good. And afterwards, the three of them did hug for a successful victory. And I guess before I go head to you, the night would end with Alan Dragunov saying he was going to get retribution against Trick Williams, because that's what we're doing. And so you tell me what you think about this matchup, and also, you know, Al Dragunov and his thoughts.
Y'all, don't laugh at me. But when they said he called an old friend, I said 2 times. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for 2 seconds. I swear to you, I really believed it. But I'm glad it was Santos. I thought that was cool. It was fun to see. You know, I guess, you know, bygones. You know, even though it was a lot, like it was a lot to forgive. If I was Elektra, I would have came out there. I would have came out. I would have stopped the whole match. Where have you been, Santos? That would have been me, but that's just my business. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a cute match. I thought it was a cute little, you know, nostalgia moment for the NXT crowd. And yeah, I'm excited to see what's next for the family. I mean, I'm really wondering, like, who could be next for them right now? Like, I'm really thinking.
Yeah, I guess we'll see as far as what we're going to get next. But I do think the whole Gallus thing, like, we're over that. Let it go. I feel like there's no need to do anything else with them. But we will see. Otherwise, that is pretty much the end of our NXT recap show. Shay, tell everybody what you got going on and where they can find you.
You can find me at Shay Sawyer _ on most platforms. You can find me at Shay Sawyer was here on Threads. I will be trying to be more consistent on Threads, I promise you. I'm telling you. You can catch me on Shay Sawyer on Twitch. It's just Shay Sawyer. I don't know how I was so lucky to find that. And you can catch me at 8:30 for Dark Side of the Ring. This episode is really funny. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be giggling from start to finish. That's all I can say. You can also catch me a new episode for the Big Pop Theory podcast every Monday, Spotify and Apple. And then you can catch me right back here for Women's Wrestling Talk, the Rising Sun Rundown at 5 p.m. And then for NXT with this amazing soul right here at 7 p.m. 8:30 for the last episode of Dark Side of the Ring next week. What is it? The World According to Marty Jannetty. That's going to be a good one. And then later that same day, the challenge for Unpopular Review. That is at 11 o'clock. So that's a late one if you want to be up there late.
You grinding. get it. As for me, I am on In Cat We Trust, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, the E's of 3. I we'll be posting a new interview very soon, actually. Reviews really soon. Mondays, you can catch me on WWT for WoW After Show, a recap show with Stephanie and Emily May. And then obviously on Thursdays with Shay, my twin, at 7 on Thursdays. We will be doing 8:30 for the Bash the Beach 2000, and so that should be cool. It was a funnier episode and a lot lighter than the last couple of weeks. And then we already know Marty Jannetty next week's going to be pure shenanigans, and I'm prepared. It's gonna be shenanigans. But as always, guys, we truly appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and always with the comments and trying to get us going into rants, because I'm convinced you like us, Rand. I'm convinced you like us to get a little bit upset. But we love you guys truly and appreciate you guys as always for hanging out with us. And if you guys will be there at 8:30, we will see you then. Otherwise, catch you guys next week. Later, guys.
Yeah.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1